let's turn our attention to something else. That if you're an entrepreneur, if you've been running a business and you have some deficiencies, I guess the next conversation is absolutely for you. Whether it comes in training or funding, I'm sure there'll be something for you in here. So we want to talk about the Skills Development Fund. The Skills Development Fund. It's in its second phase, and my guest joining me, Skills Development Fund Manager Ebenezer Atto Simpson. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, and also Danwell Echo. Echo is Deputy Fund Manager. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So first of all, we want to learn more about this particular fund, the Skills Development Fund. So tell us a bit more about it.
Well, the fund actually began operations in 2011 to address some of the critical issues that industries face, and the key of which is the lack of skills in industry. Earlier on, I talked about your shirt, my shirt. In Ghana, a person would do about 5 shirts per person per day. In China, one person can do 20 shirts a day. So it means that we can do more in terms of how productive our workforce is, and it cuts across. So SDF's core objective is to offer grant support, funds, to the businesses to access training services, to upgrade the skills of their staff, so that as a country, we can produce goods and services at a lower cost, at a higher quality, so we can compete.
So you're into the first phase. The second phase means that you've done a first phase.
We have.
How did that go? What kind of support exactly did you give, and who were the beneficiaries?
Well, we gave about $52 million over a 4-year period. A lot of money, huh?
Yeah.
To train about 104,000 staff of some 43,000 enterprises across the country.
Are these small enterprises?
Some are small, some are medium, some are large.
Okay.
So University of Ghana, for example, got a lot of grants. Most of the universities got grants. Some of the big companies got grants to train their staff to upgrade their skills. So it cuts across. And we have grants to address all kinds of needs in industry.
All right. Let me come to you, Mr. Eko. Yeah. How do we measure what you've put in? And I'm still on phase 1.
Okay.
How do we see the fruits of the work you did?
Okay. Right from where Mr. Simpson started, that as a nation we're competing with others. Okay. And so if our enterprises are doing well in the quality of the products they put out there, okay, in the efficiencies of their production processes, it has implications for pricing and therefore their competitiveness out there. So these are the things we look for. Now, when any enterprise applies in the form, they are supposed to give us their baseline, the status quo, where they are in terms of their profitability, in terms of productivity, and so on. And then after we've supplied the funds to assist them in acquiring the training, down the line, 12 months, even whilst that is happening, we do interim monitoring as they go along, month by month and so on. So we have a picture of whether they are making progress or not on the various indicators, productivity, profitability, quality of their product, the markets they are reaching, and all of that. Okay, so these are the things that has informed us to say that it's been successful, because each of the enterprises are monitored and we see the results that we are looking for in terms of these indicators that I mentioned.
Okay.
And,
so, but when you give support to a training institution, like you mentioned, the University of Ghana, is this supposed to reflect in terms of the training, the quality of teaching, or you're looking at other things?
Okay. So the University of Ghana, for example, would come for grant to develop training content for industry. Sometimes you send your staff abroad for training. Why do you do that? Training content doesn't exist in Ghana. So we challenge the training institutions to come for grant, to work with industry, and to develop what hasn't been around. This content, and then offer these to industry. That way it's cheaper for industry to access these services. Local content also is in there. So it is not for their use necessarily, it's for their use developing content to offer to industry.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's cool. So this second phase, is it taking the same 10? Are you following through the same way you did with phase 1, or there's something that's changing in this phase?
It is the same format, except we are focusing now mainly on agribusiness, agro-processing, renewable energy. The government of Ghana is focusing basically on agric now. So we're using our funds to also back it up. So that, well, not our funds, the government funds, you know, to just back it up. So that just as the government is using its funding to support in other areas, SDF's funding goes to support the skills bit of it. So that together the country can grow.
So skills development fund is not private.
It is not private. The funding in the first phase came from the World Bank through a loan to the government and a grant from the Danish government. Phase 2 is coming from the Danish government and the government of Ghana. So these are public funds, and we've been mandated to use these funds to support enterprises to grow.
Okay. So, Mr. Eko, if I have a farm, I mean, let's talk about the real everyday people who can benefit from this particular fund. Who are they?
Yeah. Ghanaian enterprises, as he rightly mentioned, those in agro-processing, turning the cassava into agbelema and maybe starch, small to large, okay, and other Ghanaian owned enterprises.
Okay.
That's on one side. Then we have the training institutions that are hopefully in touch with industry and can identify the training needs, and then can also propose to us that we should support them to develop the some kind of training. So basically enterprises in Ghana, in this case in the agri sector, in the renewable energy, in the sustainable energy, waste management, and all of that.
So what do I have to do then? I've identified with the things that you've mentioned.
Yes.
How do I start?
Well, you come to, in the previous phase, we will do a call for proposals and invite prospective applicants to apply. They will hand in hard-copied application forms, which they will download on our website.
Okay.
This time around, everything is online. You go to the website and you complete the forms on the website, upload all the necessary attachment, your registration documents and things like that. And that's where it starts. It starts with you establishing what the need is. So we expect that any enterprise that is coming on board has done an assessment of their training needs. And based upon that, they can turn in the concept notes, which is the first stage. We require you to give us a concept note of not more than 3 pages.
Okay.
With your basic information and telling us what is the training need for which you are asking for the funding support.
But it strictly has to be training.
Yes, in skills upgrade.
Okay.
Mind you, the emphasis is on improving productivity. Okay, and subsequently.
So training that is linked to improving productivity.
Exactly.
All right. So what's the website, the name of the website that one can visit?
Yeah, it's www.sdfghana.org.
www.sdfghana.org.
Yes.
Okay. Alternatively, is there an office that one can walk in or a telephone number that somebody can call? But before you answer that, how much money do we have this time around?
Well, we have 60 million Ghana cedis to start with.
Okay.
And we are discussing with other partners to make a contribution into the fund to expand it. But the first phase was so well executed and the impact was tremendous. On average, we had a 3-fold improvement in productivity. This data is available for all to see. So we are hoping to have more funding available to share to business community to enhance productivity going forward.
I'm kind of like holding back a bit because, you know, they say there's no free lunch. So if I came and benefited from this, would I be paying back in any way?
Yes.
Well, it's a grant. You don't pay
Okay.
back. But what you require of every grantee is that the work is done so well. You see, when a company, you know, train their staff and their productivity enhancement, there are other firms around that can see. the company's cost would go down, company quality of product would go up, they can enter new markets, they can expand, and so on and so forth. Everybody can see. So even other companies that don't have access to the grants or that may not want a grant can see that it pays to invest in skills upgrading. So that effect, that spills over, which others can see, is what we are interested in. The grant cannot go around every firm in the country, but the few that get a grant should demonstrate that the impact is amazing for others to also pick up and use their own fund to train others.
Okay, so with the amount of money that you have, at least for now, how many companies are you hoping that you can support?
Well, on the average, we're supporting about 100 companies every 9 months, so like 400 companies in all. But not companies, 400 grants. For the very small enterprises, they come in groups of 50, 100, even 200 to access one grant. Their needs are about the same. So in terms of actual number of trainees, about 50,000 of them.
Okay.
Yes.
And the good thing is this is not like it's limited to Accra. This is the entire country.
It's nationwide,
so
yes.
Anybody, anywhere can just go to the website. If they identify with the things that you've mentioned as requirements, then they can go ahead and apply. Is it a window that is open forever, or is a fixed time, maybe from now to a certain time, after which you can't apply?
Actually, we opened this window about 3 weeks ago. We opened it for 1 month.
Okay.
So you have 1 week more to go. As we speak, we have about 450 applications in already.
Wow.
It's a big number.
Have you screened those applications?
We haven't done that yet. We will do soon when we close the deadline. So we're inviting all enterprises to express interest. All of them need some training of some sort. Go to the website and check out, what you need to offer us to access the grant, and then send the application in.
So the deadline is what dates?
2nd of November.
2nd of November.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been going for about 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. So this is more like the last minute window.
Just about a week more to go.
If you've missed the previous, okay,
yes.
Sure. So then after the window closes, within what time frame would people know that yes, I've been selected?
It would take about 2 weeks, wouldn't it? So we do the the sieving process. It takes about 2 weeks, and then we notify all of them.
Okay.
It used to be a hassle trying to notify all of them somehow, but now, because we've gone online, it takes just about a minute to click a button, and those that get it can get emails notify that they've got it.
Okay.
And then we train them to now fully apply.
Are the trainings done here in Ghana? All the trainings are done in Ghana, or
Oh, you mean the training for the workforce?
Yes.
Yes.
All the trainings
All
are
the
here.
trainings are.
Okay.
There are instances where some expertise can be brought in.
Okay.
But it's all local.
Okay. All right. So finally, just the telephone number if there is, and then the website again.
Yes, the phone number, they can call actually me. It's fine. 0244381711.
0244381711.
It's a hotline, so anybody can call that and get an answer to the question they have.
Okay. And the website again is www.sdf.ghana.org.
That's right.
Okay. All right. In the absence of anything else that you want to add, I want to say thank you for your time. All right. So my guest from the Skills Development Fund, Ebenezer Ato Simpson, he's fund manager, and also Danwell Echo. Echo is deputy fund manager. Thank you, gentlemen. I hope that a lot of people, would benefit. They will take advantage of this. Thanks a lot for being on the show.